Marcus, let's talk about something I think everyone listening feels, maybe even today. It's that moment you're staring at the project, the half finished business plan, the blinking cursor on the screen, and every cell in your body is screaming, just quit. It feels heavy, like you're trying to push a boulder uphill in the mud.
Yeah, the mud, that's exactly it. Or you're in the gym and the same weight you lifted last week feels 100 pounds heavier. You've been eating right, showing up, but the scale hasn't moved. And that little voice just goes, see, it's not working. What's the point? That feeling of utter deflation, it is visceral.
It is, and I think the biggest misconception, the real problem here, is that we treat that feeling as a failure of character. We think it means we're lazy or we don't have enough willpower. We make it mean something terrible about us.
Right. We internalize it. But 99% of the time, that urge to quit isn't about willpower at all. It's a signal. It's your brain or your body telling you something important is off. Maybe the goal is wrong. Maybe your why isn't strong enough. Or maybe you're just completely exhausted.
Exactly. It's a signal. I had a client, a brilliant graphic designer, who was ready to completely abandon her freelance career. She kept missing deadlines, avoiding client calls. She was convinced she'd lost her passion. But when we dug into it, it wasn't about the design work at all.
What was it then?
It was the fear of success. Her last project had won a huge award, and she was subconsciously terrified that her next one wouldn't live up to it. The pressure was so immense, quitting felt safer than creating something that might be judged as less than. The desire to quit was a defense mechanism against potential disappointment.
That makes so much sense. It's the expectation gap. We have this idea that progress should be this clean, upward line, but real growth, real creation, it's messy. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, a weird dance to the side, and then maybe a leap. When reality doesn't match our perfect expectation, the gap feels like failure, and we want to escape that feeling.
That's the whole thing, isn't it? Escaping the feeling. And that's where I think the first big shift in perspective has to happen. It's an internal one. It's moving from fighting the feeling to getting curious about it. Instead of saying, I shouldn't feel this way, I need to push through, you just gently ask, okay, resistance is here. Hello, resistance. What are you trying to protect me from right now? It's a shift from judgment to compassionate curiosity. That feeling isn't the enemy. It's just data.
Love that phrase. Data, not drama. It depersonalizes it. The feeling isn't you. It's a message your system is sending you.
Totally. Once you see it as data, you can work with it. You can see, oh, I'm not lazy. I'm just afraid of what my boss will say. Or I'm not undisciplined. I'm just burned out and need a day off. It changes the entire conversation you have with yourself.
And that internal shift, that compassionate curiosity, sets the stage for the external behavioral shift. This is where I live. If the internal shift is about understanding the why, the external one is about redesigning the how. We so often try to force ourselves to take a giant leap when we really need to build a very, very small bridge.
A small bridge. I like that.
Yeah, you don't focus on building the whole house. That's overwhelming. You focus on laying one brick perfectly. You forget about the finished book, the marathon, the $10,000 sales goal. You focus only on the next most ridiculously small, immediate step. I remember when I was writing my first book, I was so paralyzed by the sheer size of it, I almost gave up a dozen times.
Really? I would never have guessed that.
Oh, absolutely. My breakthrough came when I made a new rule. I just had to open the document and sit in the chair for 15 minutes a day. I didn't even have to write. But, of course, once I was there, I'd usually write something. Some days it was one terrible sentence, but the habit of showing up, of laying one tiny brick, that's what built the house. The shift is from being product-focused to being process-focused.
That's the aha moment right there. Stop focusing on the finish line and just focus on taking the next step. So good. Okay, so let's make this super practical. If someone is in that moment right now, what are, say, 3 things they can do this week to start building that bridge?
Okay, number one, and this is my favorite, shrink the change. Whatever the task is that you're avoiding, shrink it down to a 2-minute action. You don't have to go for a run. You just have to put on your running shoes and walk out the front door. That's it. You don't have to write your novel. You have to open the laptop and write one sentence. This bypasses the brain's fear response. The task is so small, it's not threatening. Often, that tiny momentum is all you need to keep going.
Yes, motion creates emotion. I love that. Okay, my turn. Number 2 builds on that internal shift we talked about. I call it name the feeling. When you feel that urge to quit, literally pause for 30 seconds, put your hand on your heart and ask, what am I actually feeling right now? And name it. Is it boredom, fear, resentment, overwhelm?
Give it a label.
Give it a label, because there is a profound difference between saying, I am a quitter, and saying, I am feeling overwhelmed. One is an identity, the other is a temporary emotional state. When you can see it as just a feeling, it loses its power over you. You can say, overwhelm is here. Okay, what would make this feel 10% less overwhelming? Now you have a problem to solve, not a personality flaw to condemn.
That's so true. Okay, number 3. This is the challenging truth that sometimes needs to be said with compassion. Change your scenery. We often blame our lack of motivation when the real problem is our environment. You cannot do deep, focused work in a space designed for distraction and chaos.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is. If you're trying to write at the kitchen table with the kids running around, you're not failing. Your environment is. This week, find a different place, a library, a coffee shop, even just a different chair in a quiet corner of your house. Create a sacred space just for that task. Changing your physical location can fundamentally change your mental and emotional state. It signals to your brain, okay, when I'm here, I do this.
So shrink the change, name the feeling, and change your scenery. Those are so simple but so powerful. And I think as we close out, the most important thing to say is, this is hard. Wanting to give up is a normal, human part of doing anything that matters. It's not a sign that you're on the wrong path. Often, it's a sign that you're right at the edge of your comfort zone, which is where growth happens.
Exactly. And progress is not linear. It's not a straight line up a mountain. It's more of a spiral. You'll circle back to the same challenges, the same doubts, but each time you come around, you're a little higher up. You're seeing it from a new perspective with new tools.
A spiral. I love that image.
So, here's the final reframe, the mantra to hold on to. Instead of torturing yourself by looking at how far you have to go, I want you to pause, turn around, and acknowledge how far you've already come. And in the moment of struggle, the goal is simply just one more. One more phone call, one more sentence, one more rep, one more day. That's all you ever have to do.
This was a good one.
Yeah, really good to dive into this with you.
Hope this landed for whoever needed to hear it.
We'll catch you on the next conversation.